1st of July today, three news stories. A key bridge over Tekeze River, which connects Amhara region with Tigray region, has been demolished by special forces of Amhara state. Secondly, protests have been carried out in Sudan. Protesters tried to march towards presidential palace in Khartoum yesterday. Thirdly, TPLF is expected to announce a set of conditions for implementation of ceasefire in Tigray in coming hours. Let's look at the first news story. A key bridge which connects Amhara region with Tigray region has been demolished, viewers. Several sources are confirming that a bridge over Tekeze River which connects Mate Sabre with Shire has been demolished. Reportedly, Amhara regional forces dismantled this bridge. What is the objective behind dismantling of this bridge? It is being said that Tigray defense forces are likely to advance towards northwestern and western Tigray. That is why this bridge has been demolished. But viewers, humanitarian aid supplies will suffer a lot because this bridge was it's along a main road which links Gondar region, Gondar zone of Amhara state with Tigray, and this bridge was being used for humanitarian aid supplies to Shire. Shire is the center of displaced persons, viewers, and we know that when two Eritrean refugee camps were attacked, Hitsets and Shemelba, thousands of Eritrean refugees, they arrived in Shire. Then after that, when ethnic cleansing was carried out in northwestern and western Tigray, in Amhara, Volkait, thousands of Tigrayans moved towards Shire. So there are tens of thousands of refugees and displaced persons in Shire. Now humanitarian aid supplies to Shire will be extremely affected by the demolishing of this bridge, views. It will add to humanitarian disaster in Tigray. This dismantling of bridge shows, viewers, that Amhara regional forces are preparing against a likely advance by Tigray defense forces towards northwestern and western Tigray. Another question would be, reported there is presence of Amhara regional forces in Amhara, Volkait. So what about the supply lines if you are dismantling a key bridge? There is another road which links Amhara region with Tigray region. The road which links Dansha, Amhara. It links Gondar with Amhara, views. So supplies to Amhara regional forces in Amhara, Volkait, they'll continue via the other road. But humanitarian aid supplies to Shire from Amhara will be seriously affected because the bridge has been demolished. Pictures are also being shared of this bridge, which has been demolished. Several sources are confirming the bridge has been demolished, viewers. So the war, the fighting in Tigray is far from over. All the sides are making preparations. Now, a second news story, viewers. Protests have erupted in Sudan against Sudanese government. Yesterday, on the 30th of June, protests were carried out in Khartoum, capital of Sudan. Protesters tried to march towards presidential palace in Khartoum. Police fired tear gas and protesters were dispersed. There are deteriorating economic conditions, living conditions in Sudan. People are not happy with the performance of this government. In 2019, long-time ruler of Sudan, al-Bashir was ousted through a coup, and then a civilian come military committee was formed to rule the country, transitional council, which is led by Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. Though Sudan has a prime minister as well, Abdullah Hamdok, but it's mainly military which is in command in Sudan, viewers. People are not happy with the performance of this government. Inflation is on the rise. Unemployment is on the rise. Price of bread, price of fuel, they have increased views. Now, though IMF has provided relief of debt to Sudan viewers, but in the living conditions of people, of common man, there is no change. That is why yesterday protests were carried out in Khartoum viewers. While protests are happening in Sudan viewers, Sudan is threatening Ethiopia against starting the second filling of GERD. Rainy season has begun in Ethiopia viewers. Next week's weather forecast shows that heavy rains are expected in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is all set to start the second filling of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Can Sudan make any decisive move? Can Egypt make any decisive move to stop Ethiopia from starting the second filling of GERD? It remains to be seen. But the day has come when Ethiopia is going to start the second filling of GERD. Last news story, viewers, is about likely announcement of some conditions by Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF. 2 days ago, when Mekelle fell, I told you that TPLF will have to announce some conditions for the implementation of the ceasefire. Because the international community has been calling for a ceasefire. So TPLF will have to announce a set of conditions. Reportedly, in coming hours, TPLF is due to announce some conditions for the implementation of ceasefire unilaterally announced by Ethiopian government. Now, the likely conditions could be, firstly, the restoration of Tigray's borders as they stood on the 4th of November, meaning thereby that Volkayet, Amhara, Tekeze, Salmati, they must come under TPLF control. Secondly, investigations into atrocities committed in Tigray, investigations by some independent international bodies. Thirdly, viewers, we could see a demand for unfettered humanitarian access into Tigray. We could see a set of conditions by TPLF in the coming hours. We haven't seen TPLF leaders in Mekelle so far, viewers. Debretsion, Geta Choreda, they have not appeared in Mekelle. Almost 72 hours have passed since Mekelle came under TDF control, but so far main leaders of TPLF have not been seen in Mekelle. They might arrive in Mekelle and announce a set of conditions